Hey YouTube, so today I am filming a comparison of the 3 IT Cosmetics CC creams. Now I already know you're thinking, wait, aren't there only 2 CC creams? Yes, in fact, there are 2. However, I also purchased the Bye Bye Foundation, which is a brand new product from IT Cosmetics. And after wearing all 3 of these for quite some time, I wanted to make a video and talk to you guys about the very strong similarities between these 3, as well as the minute differences. And my goal in doing this is to help you to be able to pick the best one for you. Hopefully that will help you to avoid spending $40 a pop on all 3 of these and then coming to the same revelation that I did, that they're all quite similar. Let me start this video with a slight apology because my makeup probably looks like it's at the end of the day, and that's because it is. I actually am wearing all 3 of these right now. I was planning on doing a wear test comparing the 3, but I feel like it's more effective for me to communicate it just in this type of format, so that is what we're going with today. But just so you know, I do have 1 pump of each of these applied in different sections of my face. I have the CC cream over here, the Bye Bye Foundation on this side of my face, and then on my neck area I applied the Illumination. I suppose you could say I was anticipating more difference when I first set out to make this video than I ended up concluding with. There are differences though, and I do want to address them, but I want to start by talking about the many ways in which these products are similar. Now again, none of these are new to me. I've bought them in the order in which they came out. I've had the most experience with the CC cream, then the Illumination. This one I've had for about a week and I've worn 3 times before this video, and I didn't notice the similarities when I wore them separately. I actually had quite convinced myself that there were differences between these. However, seeing them side by side, here's the ways in which they're similar. All 3 of these have this wonderful texture to them that actually really does complement dry skin in particular. If you're the kind of person who gets frustrated with foundations, settling into fine lines, and just ending up looking textured, none of these do this. In fact, something I really like about all of them is that they're so forgiving that you can apply these with your fingers. And in fact, that's what I did today. I know that's against the realm of YouTube, but in a pinch, that's what I do. If I'm in a rush, I don't have time for brushes. So I applied all of them with my fingers, blended them out with a beauty blender as I do, and that's when I just started to really see that it's about the same amount of coverage on all of these, which again is a great thing because you could take a very small amount. You could take 1 pump for your whole face and you get basically a tint, or you can use 3 pumps on your face and then build it up to medium to full coverage. I wouldn't say any of these do have full coverage, but I would say they all build up to that medium full level. For this video today, I played around with some swatches, and it was really interesting to compare all 3 of these to the Complexion Rescue from Bare Minerals, which is a basic BB cream. It's amazing how much lighter the texture is on a BB cream than these. I swatched these next to multiple foundations, and they all really look like foundation, but they blend out so nicely. Totally something I forgot to mention is that I'm not wearing any primer. I do like to wear primer with these, but I don't find it completely necessary. I think just because all of these are so nourishing on the skin, they contain so many good for your skin ingredients as well as silicones. They just blend out really well, which I think is why you're able to just get a skin tint coverage if you want it, as opposed to it seems like a medium coverage foundation kind of has its limits. It's hard to get it to a tint level, if you know what I mean, whereas these you actually can. The price is similar on all 3 of these. The original 2 CC creams retail for $38 for 1.08 ounces, and the Bye Bye Foundation is $39.50 for 1 ounce. I don't think that's really a significant difference, and fine, you can justify the $1.50 extra because it does have more good for your skin ingredients to it, but we're going to talk more about formulation in a bit. So let's move on to talking about the differences. First off, we're going to address the texture of the 3. The CC cream seems to be the most mattifying as well as in some ways the most dense, which makes sense once we get to the formulation. I have noticed that this really does seem to be a versatile product. It doesn't matter if you have more oily skin or more dry skin. It seems that everybody can appreciate this product. It is a nice matte finish, not the most matte finish, not the most full coverage finish, but a very nice matte finish that looks good on the skin. Now to contrast that to the Illumination, this one is so frequently described as glittery, and it's just not to me. To me, this one gives a little bit more of a glow to my skin, and to be completely honest with you, with my dry skin, I have preferred the Illumination. You can even see I've used up more of it. I have preferred the Illumination's finish. I just think it makes my dry skin look a little bit more alive. That is kind of an unpopular opinion, though. I've noticed that many more people enjoy this as opposed to this, so YMMV, you may not like this as much, but if you do have very dry skin, it may still be worth checking out. The Bye Bye Foundation actually has done a really amazing job at being an in-between of the finish of both of these. It's certainly not a glowy foundation, but it's also not matte. It's kind of more of just a gentle sheen, and what I've really enjoyed about this is that on my skin, I feel that it has less noticeable texture. I even noticed throughout the day that I did start to have expression lines appear with just the CC cream, but the Bye Bye Foundation, I did not have that. Something I've noticed with all three of these is that my skin actually looks a little better at the end of the day than it did going into foundation, and I assume that's just all these beneficial ingredients. I will say that the Bye Bye Foundation has a little bit more of an edge to that. My skin does look a little better at the end of the day as opposed to these two, which both still looked better than any other foundation most other foundations that I've tried. So just to real quickly recap what I said, the original CC cream, I would say for normal to oily skin or anybody wanting a mattifying finish, and both the CC Illumination rather, and the Bye Bye Foundation for more dry to normal skin, this for a little bit more of a glow, and this for a little bit more of repair. Next difference I want to talk about is shockingly color, because I did not expect this. I own all three of these in the shade Light, and somehow they are all different. Now I've already washed off the swatches that I had of these, but I will go ahead and insert that into the corner so you can see. The original CC cream is the darkest. No idea why, it's just the darkest of the three. I feel like that's fine for me because, again, this is a very light coverage, and I'm able to make it work by wearing it light. But I think it will match me a lot better in the summer than it currently does. The CC Illumination Cream somehow seems to be the most, dare I say, orange. It's really that I mean warm, but I did kind of get a little bit of that vibe from it. However, don't let that deter you from this product because, as I said, I enjoyed this for the longest time more than the CC cream. I feel like that the fact that it has light reflecting pigments might be what makes it look like it's adjusting to my skin more, kind of in the same way as MAC's Matchmaster foundation has light reflecting pigments to make it adjust to different tones. And in fact, that's why these do have a more limited shade range, but I think that it can work for a very large amount of people regardless. And then the Bye Bye Foundation, what's interesting about this one is that this has a now expanded shade range. You have a lot more options to choose from, but this one is the lightest. I just found that really interesting because to me, if you're expanding a shade range, in general, you don't adapt the former colors to become something different, but this one is actually a good amount lighter on me, which is great because that means I will finish wearing this until I need to wear my original CC cream. So to recap that part, just for the shade Light, I don't know how this is for other shades. The original CC cream is the darkest. Illumination is next up, but a little more warm. And then the Bye Bye Foundation is a pretty neutral but lighter color. Alright, last, let's talk about the difference in formulation. I save boxes because I'm extra. I wished that I had read the ingredients on these at some point sooner because I really actually would have been quite impressed by something common to all three of these, and that is the fact that snail secretion filtrate is the #2 ingredient. Maybe it's just because at the time that I bought these, which was several months ago, I was not as interested in snail mucin as I currently am, but it is a wonderful ingredient, and it's fantastic to see that as the second ingredient in all three of these. So now, let me tell you about the process of going over these ingredients. I first compared the original CC cream to the Illumination. Both of these have a very long list of ingredients. It is running down this side and all down this side of the box. I spent all this time side by side trying to find any difference between the original and the Illumination, and it wasn't until I got to the very, very bottom line that I saw the original says may contain iron oxides, And the Illumination says may contain mica and iron oxides. That's it. This is really funny to me because considering how many people have called this a glittery finish, there is no glitter in it, there's only mica. But I think that there can be a bit of confusion in the difference between mica and glitter. To me, mica is a lustrous pigment, and glitter is something that is a lot more open to interpretation. Glitter can be made from plastic, it can be made from glass, but to me, as somebody who has worked with craft projects and craft glitter, not on the eyes, I definitely think that glitter is a very specific, very reflective particle as opposed to mica, which is less so. Now I get that there's similarities, but for me I can never call this a glittery finish without it actually containing glitter. It contains mica. It absolutely does have a little bit more glow, but the fact that that is the single difference is kind of mind-blowing. That's it. There's no other difference between these two. So then I moved on over to looking at the ingredients in the Bye Bye foundation. This one got really interesting because it again looks like it might be the same ingredients list running down the side of the box. However, the differences are much more pronounced in these, kind of. So this one has much smaller text because it has a lot more ingredients. That's the Bye Bye foundation. Now, the ingredients list is actually entirely the same until you get to lime oil. We have lime oil down here on the original CC cream, and then it is up higher on the tiny text of the Bye Bye foundation. Where is it? Where is it? Right there. From that point onward, there are much more components to the Bye Bye foundation. There's a lot more skin enhancing ingredients. But that means that a whole lot of both of these formulas are the same. What this makes me think is that if you have the original CC cream and you, like me, do dry skin hacks, including use a primer with oil, maybe mix some of this into a moisturizer, then you may, without even realizing it, have been coming very close to what the Bye Bye foundation actually is. Again, I had never noticed that I had any type of creasing with the CC cream, but I'd also never applied it completely on its own like I did today. And that was how I became aware of the fact that there's differences. But that makes me think, now that I've looked at the fact that these have a very similar base formula to them, it makes me think that every time I go and add in a drop of the Cover FX Jasmine drops, I'm essentially making the CC cream into the Bye Bye foundation. So to recap this section of this video, the original CC cream is the base for all three of these. The Illumination has a little bit of light reflecting particles called mica, and then the Bye Bye foundation has several more ingredients that are good for your skin. So to give you guys a grand summary of my thoughts on these three, here's what I would say. If you do not own any of these three, I would recommend considering which of these is the best for your skin type as well as your preferences and making your choice based off of that. However, if you already own the basic IT Cosmetics CC cream and you are happy with it, I do not ultimately think that you need to purchase either of the two other CC creams. If you're interested in getting more of the finish of CC Illumination, you can easily add any type of illuminator into this. Again, the only difference is that the Illumination has added mica. You can easily replicate that. And if you're interested in the Bye Bye foundation, I would say try mixing your original CC cream with any moisturizer, adding it over an oil, something like that, and you will come very, very close to the finish that is the Bye Bye foundation. Now, ultimately, I'm not mad at IT Cosmetics for capitalizing on the success of their CC cream. It really is a great product. But at the end of the day, I don't think that unless you want to spend $120 on 3 products, I don't think you need to. I think that they are really and truly similar enough already. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure you give it a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, YouTube.